What's up everybody? I just wanted to give a long overdue review of my Razer Blade 15 Advanced. This is a 2021 model. This came out in December of 2021 and the specs are a 15.6 inch Full HD 360 Hz monitor. This is not G-Sync, so this does actually have Intel Optimus, which if you don't know, will allow you to use your Intel graphics card over the dedicated one and switch between the two. Of course, you can also put this into fully dedicated mode, which is what I typically leave it in since I only use it when it's plugged in. But that's that. It also comes with a 1TB SSD, which I upgraded to 5TB. I put in a 4TB on top of that. I'll get into that a little bit later in this video, but it is a bit of a process to do that. I also got this with 32GB of RAM, so that is your new GDDR4 type RAM. It also has the 3080 RTX 3080, which has 8GB of GDDR6 and a 8-core Intel Core i7-11800H processor. So this is a pretty beefy machine, even though it is a couple of years old. Honestly, I haven't had any issues with any of the games that I've tried to run, even modern AAA titles. They run perfectly flawlessly on full details, 1080p. You get over 60 FPS all day long, so I really haven't had anything to complain about whatsoever. However, we will start with some of the things that I don't like, and at the top of that list is the display quality. At least on mine, I had it for a couple of months and then I noticed a dead pixel. Not the end of the world, it's only 1 pixel, but if you are playing games like Red Dead Redemption 2 or something like that, where you're going to be having lots of white on the screen, that really accentuates the dead pixel because it's off. So I did speak to Razer about this. Since I did get this secondhand on eBay, they didn't really come with the full warranty, so they weren't willing to repair it for me for free. It was about $300 according to their quote to get the display fixed, but since it was only 1 pixel, I didn't really decide to go ahead with that. The next thing that I want to talk about is the speakers. They are good, but they're not great. If you've had a MacBook Pro 16-inch from recent years, you'll know what I'm talking about. Those speakers are incredible, but these speakers definitely fall short of that. Also, on the topic of comparing this to a MacBook, since the build quality is outstanding and on par with MacBooks, one of the things that I do wish that they borrowed from the MacBook is the trackpad. This is a glass trackpad, which is nice. It tracks smoothly and effectively, but it is a diving board mechanism, which means that the active area is mostly at the bottom. If you start clicking at the top, it's not really going to work out for you. So that's something that I really don't like. So another thing which I had mentioned earlier, I did upgrade this to have 5 total terabytes of storage. However, to do that, I needed to do something a little bit unconventional. Since Razer decided to stack their SSDs on top of one another, they have this weird plate thing that attaches the bottom SSD to the chassis, and you can put a top SSD on top of that plate and mount it to there. Since the 4TB SSD that I put in is a little bit too thick, it doesn't actually fit with that plate, so I needed to remove it, and I instead went ahead and used some Kapton tape and basically attached it that way. Kapton tape has a high thermal resistance and it's also electrically non-conductive, so it's a perfect fit for adhering your SSD for this application since the SSD will get hot. If you guys do want to go ahead and do that, you can definitely try it. I have taken this all over the place and have had no issues, but just a disclaimer, if you do try it and it breaks your machine, I'm not responsible. And another thing that I really don't like about this is that it doesn't have a dedicated Ethernet port. This was something that I really enjoyed about my old gaming laptop, which was the Alienware 17 R5. That was a really nice laptop in that it had every type of I/O that you could possibly ask for. This has a lot of good I/O, including Thunderbolt 3, USB 3, HDMI, Kensington lock, SD card, but it does not have an Ethernet. So if you do want to have that, you need to get a Ethernet adapter like I'm showing right here, which of course everything that I talk about will be linked down below in the description. So go down there and check it out. The final thing that I don't like about this is the proprietary charging port. So what's really annoying is that if you put the charging port facing yourself, you're going to be covering up a lot of the I/O on the left-hand side of the machine, which really is unfortunate. I wish that they could have made the proprietary charging port at least a little bit nicer. At least with something like MagSafe from Apple, it doesn't obstruct any of the I/O. With this, you really can only put it facing backwards, which is how I have it most of the time. But if there is a case where you want it to be facing towards you, it's really annoying that it covers up the I/O. On the topic of things that I do like, this is sort of a throwback to the first thing that I didn't like, and that is the display, right? So although this is just a 1080p panel, it's 360 Hz and it is pretty amazing. The contrast is really good, colors are very vibrant and punchy, and honestly, it's just a fantastic display overall. It's matte, so when you're playing out in the sun or in bright lights conditions, it's going to be great for you. Honestly, I have nothing to complain about with the display. The next thing that I really like is the keyboard, so I'll do a typing test here so that way you can hear exactly what it sounds like. As you can see, it's a pretty standard layout, which is really nice. It's a nice departure from what Razer had done in the past. I know a lot of people used to really hate their layout, but I think it's gotten a lot better. And one of the best things about this is that it has this cool feature where if you push the function button, it highlights all of the function keys, which is really cool. And another thing that's really amazing that Razer did finally was they added backlighting to every single secondary function on all of the keys that have those. So another thing, of course, that I love about this is the graphics card. Again, RTX 3080 with 8 GB of RAM. It's not the most RAM that you can get with this particular graphics card, but it is substantial enough to carry you through pretty much anything that you want to do. If you want to do VR, this thing does it perfectly. If you want to do any type of AAA gaming, this will accomplish that perfectly. If you want to play Gotham Knights at full 1080p resolution with ray tracing and everything turned up, even with DLSS off, it's going to run over 60 FPS constantly, not a problem. If you use DLSS, you can get a little bit more on your FPS, but honestly, this thing will carry you through pretty much anything that you want to throw at it. Another thing, of course, this is a gaming laptop. What I really love about it is, this sort of RGB per key lighting. It's really nice. You can customize it however you like for whatever game that you want and have it load up in whatever configuration. What's also cool is that some game developers build in integration with Razer's Chroma software, so that way when you open up the game, it has a custom RGB profile set for you straight away, which sort of adds to the immersion of some of these games, which is always a fun thing. And what's nice is that even with all of that, it doesn't detract from the cool industrial rugged design that we've been coming to love from Razer. It would fit in just as well at a business meeting as it would at a gaming competition. This is a really great computer overall, so I'm going to show you guys a little bit of gameplay demo, and then I'm going to come back with my final thoughts.
You have arrived at your destination.
Give me your comments. out there. I knocked out one guy, but there's more of them. I see. Luck won't save you now, fat girl.
This isn't over yet.
Look at you there. Vigilante is here. Focus on this first. Keep her off balance. Get up here, okay? You are in.
More bad guys, of course.
We have a guest. Now this will be the
Incoming.
Alright, so hope you guys enjoyed that little gaming demo. As you could see, everything ran perfectly smoothly and there were really no problems at all. And that's really the topic of this video, right? This is a couple years old at this point, but even though it is a few years old, it still runs everything, even things that are coming out today at max settings, 1080p easily. If you want to run at 4K, this can also do that. You can get pretty much around 60 to 80 FPS, 4K, everything maxed out if you use DLSS and you're using ray tracing. If you turn ray tracing off, 4K performance is still amazing. So this machine, even though it's a few years old, I think is still a good thing to buy even in 2023 where we have RTX 40 series laptops coming out. Those are much more expensive, and just like this is a Max-Q 3080. You're not going to get the same performance as you would from a full-fat desktop version 4080 or a 3080 like in this. So, you know, whether you choose to go with this or whether you choose to go with a newer one, I think either way you can't really go wrong. Both would be amazing machines and both would get you whatever gaming performance it is that you want to get out of these. So with that being said, I hope you guys liked this video and this look at the Razer Blade 15-inch with the RTX 3080. If you guys want to check out any of the things that I've talked about in this video, pick yourselves up one of these or one of the new 4080s if you're a baller. Go down to the description below and use my affiliate links. It does help out the channel a little bit and it doesn't cost you anything. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please feel free to drop a like and give me a comment down below. What gaming laptops do you use? Do you not use gaming laptops? Are you a gaming desktop person? What do you use? I'd love to hear from you guys. And again, as always, feel free to subscribe. I do a lot of content, including tech reviews, pretty much anything that you could think of I do on this channel. And I'd love to have you as a part of this community. So with that being said, I will catch you guys in the next video.